Afternoon Express Mzansi, I'm Palisa Tembe, and today we're turning our usual Wellness Wednesday edition on its head by looking at the wellness of our Mother Earth and her mesmerizing oceans. We're diving into all things ocean conservation today as we learn about Plastic-Free July. We connect with upcycling organization Wasted about their sustainable face mask they make from recycled plastic. We chat with Lorna Norris about the Bread Tags for Wheelchairs initiative. And we kick it all off by meeting Dr. Anthony Ribbink from the Sustainable Seas Trust, who will teach us how plastic is destroying our oceans. Now, we all have the power to make a difference and be the difference, as I like to say. So we want to find out from you on our social media platforms. What are you doing? The little things you do every day to live more sustainably. Ladies in the kitchen, happy Wednesday.
Hello, Pali. Happy Wednesday to you too over there in the lounge. How are you, Jenny?
I'm all the better for being in the kitchen with you, Tumi.
Thank you for joining us again today. We're going to be making a clafouti, which is a French dish, and you're going to be helping us with the caramelization of the apples that are going to be going into it.
Oh, I love it. Vive la France.
But you can get all the recipe details, all the information on afternoonexpress.co.za. But for the moment, let's hear what Anthony Ribbink, an ocean conservationist, has to say.
We welcome today Sustainable Seas Trust. With it being Plastic-Free July, we chat to Dr. Anthony Ribbink about the dangers of plastic in our seas and the importance of recycling. Welcome to the loft, Dr. Anthony.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm delighted to be on your show.
So, Doctor, tell us about the Sustainable Seas Trust and what do you do to help save our oceans?
Well, the Sustainable Seas Trust arose from a very interesting program involving most of the countries of East Africa and the islands of Madagascar, Seychelles and Mauritius. And the communities there and the people there wanted to have some sort of long-term sustainability to help their communities not only sustain the environment, but to sustain themselves. And so our catchphrase is sustainability and poverty alleviation through education. So education is core to what we do.
Doctor, what are the most common plastic items that are found clogging up our oceans?
Right. Our surveys have shown that in South Africa, they principally plastic bottles and bags and earbuds and cigarettes and those sorts of things that people throw away commonly. But this changes in different places and different times. But the most common things are actually broken down pieces of plastic, because while plastic doesn't necessarily disappear entirely, it breaks up. And so when one goes onto the beaches, the fragments of plastic dominate. But most of the things that people throw away, particularly wrappers and those things that I just mentioned, they accumulate on the beaches, in the rivers, in the estuaries, and in the sea itself.
Please may you explain why plastic doesn't break down and how plastic destroys sea life?
Very good question. Plastic's not a natural product, so when it goes into the environment, it doesn't break down. Normally in the environment, everything naturally breaks down, but when one puts artificial products in, then it doesn't enter that sort of system, but it actually interferes with the natural processes. And that starts from where you live and work and play, and it goes down the rivers and into the estuaries, out onto the beaches and onto the rocky shores and into the seas. And it affects not only the environment itself, but the animals and plants in that environment. So it has an artificial impact on all of natural life. Once it's in the sea, it can actually last for enormously long periods of time. And there it does a lot of damage. And amongst the worst of those is something called ghost gear that's discarded or lost nets, and these which float around in the ocean for long periods of time and can catch animals. They continue to fish, which is why they're called ghost gear. They continue to fish even though they're not actually being used by the fishermen themselves. And then things like plastic bags and line and various other bits of plastic can entangle animals. But also, as everybody knows these days, plastics are mistaken for food by these animals, and they can congest the digestive systems. They can be fed to the babies, whether it's birds or other things. And so the plastics themselves can actually kill the animals through starvation, clogging the gut. So they are really a very negative component of the oceans at the moment.
And these are the things that we hate to see, Doctor. Now, what can we do to be more plastic aware?
Well, I think the first thing to do is to realize that plastics are actually a wonderful product. They're part of every aspect of our life, incredibly convenient to us, and they really make our lives wonderful. But it's after they've been used, they're mismanaged. And so what we really need to do is to make sure that we use them and then we manage them properly afterwards. And we need to look at plastics as a valuable resource and not as waste. And that means we've got to put them back into the economy, which of course often means recycling. So if we can use plastics as a valuable resource, recycle them and prevent them from going into the environment, then we will make a really big difference.
Doctor, let's dive more into that a little bit deeper. I know the truth is, and the reality is, a lot of South Africans aren't aware of how to go about recycling. We do know the challenges, but I don't even know if there's a drop-off point in my area. How do I go about doing this?
Well, people themselves don't recycle. What they do is they sort the materials at home or in their office or in their schools or universities so that they actually go in a sorted manner to the proper recyclers. If you don't know where the recycling point is, then why bother to sort your plastics? Because if you then sort them and put them onto the wrong place, or they get picked up and taken to the landfill, you've actually wasted your time. So what we've been doing is we've recognized that there is a problem there. We are mapping now the different points we started in the Eastern Cape, and we're looking elsewhere as well to actually identify where these drop-off points are. But also the map will ultimately show us where there are gaps. And then we'll have to work with the authorities and others to make sure that those gaps are filled so that there are in fact collection points there. We're also looking at developing economic enterprises related to plastic where people actually have the plastics accumulated so that they can also be part of the entrepreneurial activities, create jobs and so forth. We started by looking at what is happening in many other countries overseas to see how we can adapt those to South African conditions.
Doctor, how does saving and preserving our oceans help us?
Well, I think that what we've really got to recognize is that one of the most important life support systems that we as humans have is probably the oceans, because the oceans actually are the major system that helps us manage global warming. So basically, to answer your question, and that is that the continued survival of humans on this planet depends upon us caring for the oceans.
Thank you so much for bringing us down to earth and reminding us about the realities that we face if we do not take heed of this warning and we don't make the change and act immediately. Thank you so much also, Doctor, once again for delivering this very important message and all the work that you do through the Sustainable Seas Trust. Goodbye.
Bye, and thank you very much indeed.
Now let's all work together in lowering our plastic waste and recycling. Check out your nearest drop-off locations on Sustainable Seas Trust websites and do your bit in preserving our oceans and sea life. Reduce, reuse and recycle.
You know, Mother Earth is very angry with us, and we need to be sustainable. And if you just talk about the oceans and the fish in the oceans, we should be obviously sustainable with the fish we eat and whatever. But if we're going to filthy our oceans, there's going to be no fish to eat.
No more fish. No more fish, guys. Palisa, did you hear that? And I know you love fish quite a lot. So we better start doing better as people, actually.
I mean, on that same point, ladies, South Africa, I need us to rally behind Dr. Ribbing because he's doing such incredible work through the organization and the trust, but making sure that we are all educated on it as well. So we're not only just doing so mindlessly, but we're also doing so with intention and making sure to save and to keep the wildlife going, even in our oceans.
Very true.
Yes.
That's why even on Afternoon Express, whenever we plan recipes that include fish, we make sure we source sustainably sourced fish.
So
Look at us, South Africa, and that actually leads us quite effortlessly to our social media question where we have posed and asked you guys, what do you do, even if it's a little bit daily, to ensure that you are living a little bit more sustainably? So from us here in the kitchen, that's our little tick. But we're going to keep the conversation going throughout the entire show. Now, we're all guilty of doing it, Mzansi. Turning to Dr. Google when we need to self-diagnose and medicate. Coming up, we find out what to ask our pharmacist when self-medicating a cough.
Express yourself.
Can come in many different forms and can range anywhere from a week to 8 weeks. But before seeking professional medical advice, one can take the right steps to self-medicate and speak to their pharmacist to alleviate a mild cough. We chat to Jackie Mayman from the Independent Community Pharmacy Association on what to discuss with your pharmacist when it comes to self-medicating a cough. Welcome to The Loft, Jackie.
Thank you so much. Lovely to be here.
Jackie, before seeking costly medical advice, speaking to your pharmacist is a great way for professional medical assistance. So what does it mean to self-medicate? And when is it advised or not advised to do so?
Okay, so the true definition of to self-medicate is when you use medicine to treat yourself without medical guidance or counsel. And, you know, I think if it's something mild, something that you know what the cause is and it's not ongoing, that's absolutely fine. I think in today's world, we are empowered to take care of ourselves, to make sure that our wellness is paramount. But as soon as something is a bit more severe or you don't know what's causing it or it is recurring, that is when you absolutely must seek medical advice. And your pharmacist is not a costly option. You can pop in, pick up the telephone and speak to them, and they can give you advice as to whether you need to come in and see them or whether you need to go and see a doctor.
Free professional advice is my type of advice. Now, what should we be asking our pharmacists if we have recently caught a cough?
Okay, so I think the first thing you need to do is when you're speaking to the pharmacist is give them a brief history. We need to know your medical history. We need to know if you have any underlying conditions, any current medication, and that includes anything that you're using over the counter, your vitamins and what have you. Then you need to tell us, are your symptoms? When did it start? If it's a cough, what sort of cough is it? Is it tight? Is it wheezy? Is it a dry cough, a wet cough? How long have you had it? Is it keeping you awake at night? And are there any other symptoms like a fever, headache, aches and pains?
Once we've established the type of cough, or if we have a fever or not, we can expect to start feeling better. When will that be?
Okay, so here again, it's a bit of a loaded question because it depends. But what I can say to you is that if you are self-medicating and this cough of yours goes on for more than a week or two, then you need to be seeking some medical assistance. And I would also say that if you had a cough and it was getting better and it suddenly gets worse, again, you need to seek medical assistance. So basically, a mild cold with a cough, you should be better in 1, maximum 3 weeks.
What are some of the other medical essentials to get us through a winter cough?
In wintertime, coughs and colds peak. We all know that. A lot of us think it's because of the cold, but it's actually not. It's because we stay indoors with our windows closed, a lot of people in a confined space. So what we need to do is we need our immune systems to be at their absolute peak. So I always recommend a really good multivitamin. Then on top of that, we need something to support our immune system if we do get a bit of a sniffle. So you're looking at your zincs, your vitamin Cs. Always a good idea to have at home some painkillers, tablets for fever, something like your paracetamol or an anti-inflammatory, and of course a general cough mixture. But as soon as you have more symptoms, don't self-medicate. Rather, pick up the phone, speak to your pharmacist and get some proper advice.
And then, Jackie, if after 3 weeks the cough is still present, should we then consider an antibiotic?
Okay, so 90% of coughs are viral. And viral infections, antibiotics are absolutely useless. But if a cough continues for more than 3 weeks, you must consult with a doctor or your pharmacist because there are many conditions that could be causing this. I mean, you do get your typical smoker's cough, which can be ongoing. But in this country, we have a lot of TB, lung cancer, and a viral cough can become bacterial. So when a cough continues for more than 3 weeks, it could be a secondary bacterial bronchitis, and that will need an antibiotic. So definitely seek advice.
Thank you so much for joining us again this week, Jackie. We truly appreciate you and all of the pharmacists in your association doing amazing work. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Your pharmacist is certainly your greatest weapon. And with it being winter, we know we all need to get the help that we desperately need. Dialink Junior is specially formulated for alleviating wet coughs in young children. It's tartrazine and alcohol-free and recommended for children 2 years and older. Dialect Junior clears a wet cough and thins and loosens chest mucus. Suitable for children from the age of 2 years.
Are you guilty of visiting Dr. Google? Because it's not the way to go.
I am guilty, to be honest, but I also have learned that it is best to seek medical advice.
He can make a lot of trouble, that doctor. So seriously, speak to your pharmacist, speak to your doctor, because you could be misinterpreting something.
Very true, Palisa.
Yeah.
Did you get that? We must stop this Mr. Google thing.
Aye. And can I tell you the even crazier part of it all? I promise you, if you decide to turn to Dr. Google, it will send your life upside down. But a way to make sure that everything is cool, calm, and collected is continuing the conversation that we have been engaging in from the top of the show. And that is essentially, ladies, recycling and making sure that we live sustainable lives and leaving something behind for generations to come.
Very true. And that's why I've also started, I'm going to be planting my own stuff in the house, like own seeds, plants and stuff at the house, because why not?
It's amazing. I have a beautiful vegetable garden, and all those blue clover bottles that we've been cooking with, you can plant in them, and I'm going to show you how.
Interesting.
DIY with Jenny Morris. You heard it here first. I'm looking forward to that because I want to become a plant mom. But girlfriend, my apartment isn't plant friendly, so I need to find a way of going about doing that. And it's so good to find out that we can use our blue bottles to do exactly that.
Absolutely. Have you got sunshine?
Yes, I do. Tick.
Done.
Done. All right. Now, South Africa, if it ain't broke, don't throw it away. Repurpose it. Coming up, we meet the phenomenal and passionate team behind Wasted, who are saving our oceans with their quality products made from, get this, ladies, 100% plastic waste.
Express yourself.
With the month of July being Plastic-Free July and the ongoing pandemic, we chat to the founders of Wasted. They have always been passionate about recycling and saving our seas and earth. Together, they saw an opportunity to save the environment and ourselves by creating sustainable face mask filters from recycled plastic. Welcome to the Loft team of Wasted. Congratulations on the incredible initiative that you've created with Wasted. But I just want to know from the beginning, what is it all about and what made you decide to recycle plastics into face masks?
COVID hits, we had a plan to do another project with plastic waste. And so we worked off the premise of do what you can with what you have right now. The fabric that our masks are made out of is 100% made out of recycled plastic bottles. So we got this crazy idea to springboard the Wasted brand with the face mask because we only know one thing for certain right now. You need to recycle plastic and you need to wear face masks.
Yeah.
So we created this incredible mask. They're washable, they're breathable, they're 100% made out of recycled plastic bottles. Essentially, 3 2-liter bottles equals 5 Wasted face masks. So you've got a direct track back into what you're doing. And we're sincerely hoping that our mask will be a conduit to the consumer to start getting them to be just a little bit more conscious.
So what is the process from plastic to face mask?
Well, it's quite easy. Not technically, but here we go. So first of all, the plastic bottles get collected. From there on, it goes through a sorting process. From the sorting process, it gets washed and crushed. From crushing, it goes to a water separation process. From there on, it moves to cleaning. And from that, our textile fabric is made. And that's the textile fabric that we use in our masks.
Quite interesting. I'm learning so much through this conversation. So then, how is your face mask different from others?
Once again, and that is probably the core purpose of our business is recycled. It's made out of recycled plastic. And our masks have 1 to 4 or 4 rating on a air permeability scale. So Our masks are light, they're breathable, and they're good for the environment. And if you ask me, that is what I would like any of my products to check.
Yeah. I think that is the most important check for me because, I mean, we can all wear face masks. We all know how critical and crucial it is in this time. But the fact that it is saving the environment and helping with our green footprint, I love it. Hats off from me. Now, guys, break this one down for me as well. Why is it important to recycle? And what awareness do you want to create?
Whilst plastic is something that we cannot live without, it's unfortunately not going anywhere anytime soon. And it's, as Lee said, destroying our planet. And we need to find future solutions on better ways to deal with the plastic, and that's through recycling. It takes 88% less energy to actually make plastic products by utilizing recycled as opposed to using raw materials. And globally, only 19.9% of plastic that's thrown away is recycled. So we as Wasted intend on really making a huge impact on this figure by manufacturing products out of everyday plastic bottles and turning them into everyday quality products that we can use. And these products always carrying the educational message of how many bottles it took to make the product. Wasted's ethos is on the education and awareness around the consumption and the recycling of plastic bottles. So this being with the focus on youth, corporates, our communities, and of course our governments as well.
Absolutely. Well said, Lynn. How can our viewers help be more mindful about recycling, and how can they help Wasted?
Yes, this is also a real crisis because every minute of every day, one garbage truck of plastic bottles is dumped into the ocean. And this equates to 46,000 uncompressed bottles. So I can only imagine how negatively COVID has also impacted these numbers. We have created Project Wasted as a real solution for schools and the communities and corporates and government, like I said, in helping us drive campaigns to collect the bottles. The fact is over 100,000 marine animals are dying every year, 1 million seabirds. It's even found that us as humans are ingesting 1 credit card of plastic roughly a week. So let's take this for the global crisis it is. And I would like to appeal to your viewers that if we each do our bit, we can make a huge difference before it's too late. So come and visit us on social media and get involved with what we're doing.
So then, how can our viewers implement this at home and get involved? What can we do?
What can you do? Be conscious. Understand that plastic is not going to go away. It's here to stay for at least our lifetimes and probably our children's lifetimes. So our thought process is very simply, every single time that you use a single-use plastic, put it in a recycling bin and make sure that when your waste is collected, that it's separated. There are mechanisms in place in our country, governments working really, really hard, hand in hand with all the corporates that manufacture to streamline this process. And I think that we make headway every single month, every single year. The PPE issue at the moment, I choose to see it as a positive because our lives have changed so much. It sort of lays the pathway for us to change completely. So change your mindset, be better. Because it's about all of us. We are the people responsible, us as the consumer.
And on that note, I feel riled up. I mean, South Africa, are you as encouraged as I am? Head over to our Afternoon Express Facebook, Instagram, Twitter pages. Right under you see Wasted profile picture. Please may you leave a loving comment there. Guys, thank you so much from Wasted, not only showing us how to recycle, but responsible ways to do it, whilst, of course, keeping COVID-19 in mind. We appreciate you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you, Palesa.
Thank you very much.
Now let's all strive to continue in saving our beautiful planet by recycling. Head over to their website to purchase your recycled face masks. For every mask purchased by Wasted, Wasted will donate a mask to a school or community in need.
I just love seeing people doing so much for the environment. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing knowing that before we didn't know what to do with plastic. Now we actually have found a way to try and recycle it and do better to the earth.
You know, I have to say that I've got birds at home. I've got parrots, and they're very bright parrots, and they have very weak respiratory systems. And I think our ozone is also suffering from all the aerosols that we're using. So we get flies because we've got animals and sheep and funny cattle and that on a plot next to us. So I take plastic bottles, and I put vinegar in it with a bit of sugar and some recycling fruit peels. And then what happens is the flies get absolutely enticed and intoxicated by that wonderful fruity smell. They get in and they drown.
Oh, wow.
But they get pickled, so there's no stinky smell. As well. And then you put that in your compost heap.
So that's a natural air
Completely.
Wow.
Well, it's
that's
not an air
amazing.
freshener, it's a fly catcher.
Did you hear that?
My mind is blown. I love having you around the loft because you are helping us so much. And these are the conversations we need to be having. And I find, unfortunately, that we don't have them enough. Real ways, practical ways that we can do every day. Let us get this DIY flair and let's incorporate it into our own home, South Africa. Now, senior citizens don't only face the biggest threat from COVID-19 infection, but also one of the biggest financial fallouts from this pandemic. Coming up, we learn from FNB how they are supporting the elderly during this time.
Express yourself.
economic impact of COVID-19 has been felt across all sectors of society, but senior citizens are amongst the hardest hit by the financial fallout from the pandemic. This afternoon, I'm joined by Bridget Walsh-Kruger, the CEO of FNB Private Clients, who is here to share insights into what FNB is doing to support retirees and the elderly during these times. Welcome to the Loft, Bridget.
Hi, Palesa. Thank you.
Now, Bridget, why is FNB focusing on retirees?
Palesa, retirees has always been an important segment for us as FNB. And we've recently gone through a process just to review and assess the relevance of our value prop and offering to meet clients' needs. I mean, if we think about our customer context and about our customer information that we can see through the latest statistics, it is clear that only 50% or just more than 50% of people can retire comfortably without having to downsize their lifestyle. Many clients, many people retire with debt, they retire with dependence. And we also find that so many clients either take up employment post-retirement or they start their own business to supplement their income. Of course, there are those customers that just choose and want to continue work, but so many retirees are forced to continue employment or to start a business. This context has really led us as FNB to evolve our offering to meet our clients' unique needs.
So then what does FNB offer for retirees in particular?
Our new offering really has several bespoke elements, but one of the most important elements is advice. It's the ability for our retirees to access our specialists, which include financial advisors and wealth managers, who can really advise them on how to structure their investments so as to meet their needs and to give them the maximum returns. So for us, the cornerstone of our offering is advice, but our offering also provides customers with a one-stop shop, an ability to have their financial portfolio rather at one place, right from transact to invest, including lend, including rewards. Our invest product set at the moment includes deposits, it includes tax-free products, it includes living annuity and guaranteed annuities. And then I guess from a deposits perspective, we know that retirees really rely on term deposits, and we have made sure that we can offer preferential rates to our retirees that is truly favorable for our customers, and they've got the ability to access those returns and those interests throughout the term of the deposit. Because we know so many of our retirees rely on the interest earned on their fixed deposits. We're actually offering retirees the ability to choose which banking product suits their needs best. If I can make an example, whether it's a gold product or whether it's a private banking transactional product, and in addition, depending on their investments with FNB, they can get up to 100% rebates on their transactional fees, which, as you can understand, every cent matters, and that can really make a difference. And then from a rewards perspective, which is really one that I'm very excited about, we're giving customers double the eBucks rewards point depending on the investments at FNB. But very excitingly, we're launching in August with Clicks the ability for our seniors to earn double eBucks on Wednesdays at Clicks. This is in addition to the Clicks reward points that's also doubled on their day. This really provides help for customers, especially in the current environment where every cent really matters and where we need to stretch every rand.
As the saying goes, you need to take care of the cents for the rands to take care of themselves. But let's be honest, Bridget, COVID-19 has impacted everyone, but the elderly have especially been impacted. What is FNB doing to help retirees in this regard?
Yes, worldwide, we've seen the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we know that the elderly and the seniors are especially vulnerable to this illness. Given this context, we really wanted to help. So therefore, we launched an initiative which we're calling Help Old Age Homes, where we're providing a platform for our employees and for clients to donate either cash or eBucks to this cause, where we will then acquire much needed personal protective equipment and distribute it and deliver it to old age homes in need. We're really excited about this initiative because it really shows real help. But I think even more excitingly is this was as a response to the pandemic, but our plan is in the long term to expand our help when it comes to the seniors and when it comes to old age home, and to even expand the offering itself to beyond just the ability to donate.
Thank you so much, Bridget Walsh-Kruger, for coming through to Afternoon Express and shedding some light on how the elderly and our senior citizens can get help and find that relief that is much needed during this time with FNB. Now, is it safe to say that everyone can go over to the FNB website and the FNB app for more information?
Yes, certainly they can. Our Help the Old Age Homes is actually a banner. If you log into the app today, it will be the first banner that you see.
Thank you so much, Bridget.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Now again, if you are part of our senior citizens and you do want more information, head over to the FNB website or the FNB app, or if you're a part of society that just wants to give back to this initiative, do the exact same.
We can help you bank safely from the comfort of your home. Download the FNB app. FNB, how can we help you?
Have you ever thought about this? Your parents become your children as we get older, and your parents need to be taken care of.
True, and it's such a beautiful thing to see what FNB is doing, because now we're constantly finding better ways to help them out, because they've helped us out until now. So we now need to give back to them. So I really appreciate what FNB is doing, Balisa. I mean, I can't imagine not being able to do much for my elderly. So I'm glad someone is doing something.
And the truth is that as much as the rest of us then assume that position of being the caregiver to our children, to our parents,
yes,
we do need the authorities within our structures here in society to take up that charge and say, hey, we are going to help those that might not have the support of family. They might not have the financial guidance, the financial literature that is needed as the times change, because our things are changing daily.
Yeah, very true, especially during these times.
Yeah.
So we have to be, I'm glad there's...
Keep up to date and help those that are in need. Well, thank you for that contribution, ladies. Now, coming up, we're going to learn more about the Bread Tags for Wheelchairs initiative. And afterwards, ladies, let us know what we're going to be cooking up.
Clafouti.
Yes, we're going to be making a French dish, clafouti, but we're putting a twist on it using seasonal fruits and veggies, which is apple and fennel.
I kind of like that. A little bit more of that later on.
Express yourself.
Did you know that collecting bread tags can buy you a wheelchair for someone in need? We chat to Lorna Norris, who runs the Bread Tags for Wheelchairs project. Welcome to the Loft, Lorna.
Good afternoon to you.
Now, Lorna, how did the Bread Tags and Bottle Tops initiative begin?
The Bread Tag initiative began when Mary Honeybun retired from nursing, and during her time in nursing she found that there were so many people and children who were bedridden because they were disabled and had no means of mobility. And so she decided to look for something that would bring in some money that she could buy wheelchairs. And eventually she decided on the lousy bread tags that drive everybody crazy. It also works to that it keeps them out of the landfill and gives people something to do.
It does give people something to do, and it's so interesting that you took something that, as you said, could be a little annoying around the household, these little things all over the place, and putting them to great use. How many kgs of bread tags and bottle tops does it take to buy one wheelchair?
The bread tags takes a kilo of bread tags, which is about a bag like this. Bread bag full is about a kilo, and a wheelchair costs 200 kilos of bread tags. So it's a lot, but it's worthwhile. Every few make a difference. The bottle tops we started many years later. they are worth about a third per kilo what the bread tags are worth. So it's 450 kilos of bottle tops that we need, and they go to different buyers. So it's very important to please not mix them together for us, because then we have to sit and sort through them all.
Who are the recipients that receive the wheelchairs? Is there a waiting list, and can one just nominate an individual for a wheelchair?
Yes, anybody can nominate people for wheelchairs. We obviously have to have certain criteria and requirements in that we need their ID and a letter from their doctor just to prove that they are who they say they are, and not just going to sell the wheelchair on the street corner next week. The waiting list at the moment is not very long, so it's usually a couple of weeks. And one of our most interesting stories is the funeral director in Vredenburg decided that he was going to clean up the town and he was going to get wheelchairs for the people. And so he instructed everybody, all the schools, everybody had to collect the bottle tops and the bread tags for us. And they come down from Vredenburg and Vredendal, and they delivered to my house in the hearse.
Wow.
And then the hearse goes back with a wheelchair for somebody. And they've helped people as far afield as Harris and Springbok, and they've got a lovely clean town.
I love the fact that here you're killing two birds with one stone. You're cleaning up the town, but you're also providing something that is so essential for so many people. Now, how many wheelchairs have been donated since you've started the initiative in 2006 by recycling these bread tags and bottle tops?
The first wheelchair was given out in 2008, and right now we're sitting at 823 wheelchairs that have been given away.
Bread tags have a very good recyclable value. So how can we save our tags, and where can we deliver them? And is there like a collection point that one can contribute to?
There are collection points. There are some up on our map, on our website. But obviously with the circumstances in the country, people don't want to advertise their addresses. So I also have a database of addresses of people who will take them in. The central point in Cape Town is Wynberg Pharmacy, where we buy the wheelchairs. But otherwise, the best is to send me an email and I can point you in the right direction.
That sounds good, Lorna. Thank you so much for joining us, and all the best with the initiative. And I hope that we can give away so many wheelchairs. It blows everyone's mind. Bye.
I hope so too. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
You too. Now, we challenge all of our viewers to start collecting their bread tags and their bottle tops by simply popping them into a jar or a little box, and play your part in recycling plastic and also supporting a worthy cause.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA. Made with love by Clover.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. They call it hump day, but we're not feeling the hump day. I'm feeling quite good today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I don't feel the hump either. I have a hump here.
So it's a beautiful Wednesday. I'm enjoying the weather today, funny enough.
Good.
And we're going to be making a delicious, tasty recipe. And funny enough, the first time I tried to make this, it didn't go as well as I'd expected. But I'm going to hopefully make sure you guys see the right way to do it.
You know, if it doesn't work, we put it in a pancake. We just hide it.
Thank you.
It tastes the same.
There's always a solution to everything. We are making an apple and fennel clafouti.
That is delicious. Ever so French and ooh la la. You say clafouti better than me. Clafouti. It's actually a little bit of French and a bit of clafouti.
Correct.
Fouti.
It is actually a French dish. You know, we are taking you guys around the world. So to start the base of our clafouti, the first steps would be for me to crack our eggs into our mixture over here. Excuse me.
I can give you a tip. Take the shell. I'm not coming near you because I'm social distancing from you. Take the shell and just lift it out.
You see, guys.
Look when.
Experience. This is what experience
Again,
is.
go again, my baby. I can see it. Although it's calcium, it's good for you. So.
Let me break with another one because that one is practically cracked.
While you're breaking that, should I get these apples started?
Yes. So our apple and fennel clafouti, normally they'd make it with black cherries, but we're using seasonal fruits and veggies.
Beautiful.
So you've got some apples, Granny Smith apples there, as well as some fennels that you're going to be caramelizing. I'll be making the base of our clafouti, and it starts with some eggs that I'm going to be whisking together with some sugar.
Nice.
Once those have been whisked together, then I'm going to add in the rest of our ingredients. And luckily for us, because we are using quality ingredients, we don't have to worry about anything turning out incorrectly. We're basically just going to let the ingredients do their magic.
I love love it when they speak for themselves. Yeah, I love it. You've got Granny Smith apples here, which I love, but one of my favorite apples in the whole world is a pink lady.
Oh.
Because she's got a little blushy cheek.
Yes.
Because they leave it in the orchards a lot longer. But you know what I love about them? They never lose their shape. So they're fabulous for cooking. But you're talking about seasonal.
Yes.
They're from May only till November. But Granny Smith is all year round.
All year round.
All year round.
Right. So we've whisked this together, and into this mixture, we're going to go in with a bit of our flour here, and then I'm going to go in with our salt. So basically, we're making a base for our clafouti.
Is it a batter?
It is a batter.
Delicious.
So the batter basically, if I was to describe it, I would say if a pancake and a flan had a baby.
Like a custardy thing.
Yes. If a flan and a pancake had a baby, it would be something along.
I'm trying to think of a name for that child, but I can't. My brain is it's humping. I can't think. I can't think. But we must make a name for this baby.
Okay, well, maybe the viewers can help us.
Yes.
What would you call this, besides calling it a clafouti? If a flan and a pancake had a baby, what would the name of the baby be?
Pancake, flan cake.
We are using our clover milk today. As we all know, guys,
Where's my
55
glass?
quality test. I've stopped putting the glasses anywhere near you because you're finishing all our milk. Yes, it's the best milk in the industry right now. It is quality tested. It tastes amazing.
It's 55 tests or something.
55.
It's got a long life.
I know. You were mentioning to me right now that it also has the long life range as well.
Wow, so
that's
up to
great.
almost 18 days, I think you were saying.
Exactly. So the lovely thing about it is because of this easy pour handle, you basically don't have to worry about over pouring because
Yes, you can control it.
Yeah.
And those are so recyclable. Do you know that?
I didn't know
For
that.
gardening, oh please, you have to keep, because I know you use a lot of clover here, keep me every empty one of them because you can plant in them. It's stunning, stunning,
That
stunning.
is great because I'm actually also going to be starting a garden of my own, and now that you mention it,
Please, I know
that's
you're not
actually-
going to give them to me and save them for yourself. I want the blue bottle, baby.
Sharing is caring. So all I'm doing, guys, is I'm just buttering our pan here because this mixture is going into the oven to bake at 200 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. So what you've done there is you're caramelizing the apples for us, and I've got the mixture here. And it's basically nice and smooth, velvety, creamy. And what's going to happen is we're going to put it into the oven to bake. So
Love
it's
it.
going to puff up. It's going to be almost like a souffle of sorts.
But it's going to collapse.
And then it's going to collapse. It's going to collapse, but then it turns out to be a nice cakey, pillowy.
I love it.
It's such a beautiful mixture of flavor and texture.
It's one of my favorites.
Exactly, and then those apples, once they're caramelized with the fennel going in there, it's going to be just an amazing
Licorice-y.
flavor. And they actually worked well together, the fennel and the apple.
They love each other, I have to tell you. Even in a salad.
That's a love affair right there. That's you and hubby.
Waiting to... Oh, me and hubby, oh yes.
So I've just whisked in all the ingredients here. I put in my flour, some salt, and then I went in with some vanilla essence, as well as the cream as well. But all these ingredients that I've mentioned, everything that I've mentioned here about the recipe, you can get on afternoonexpress.co.za and all our other recipes. This dish is normally made with blue cherries because of the time season. But these are seasonal, like we mentioned. So if you would want to use a different kind of fruit, you're more than welcome to do that.
If you really want to be traditional and you're just so pedantic and you have to have a cherry, just drain them out of a can, I suppose. Hey?
Very true. You can also do that. Drain them out of the can, put them into the clafouti. It's still going to taste amazing. So I'm going to go in with my icing sugar. So the whole idea now is we're creating a bit of a barrier here. So all we want to do, actually, let me just be a professional.
Shake it, baby, shake it, shake it. Do it with...
So we basically just want to create a bit of a barrier here. It would stick, but we just want it to be nice and caramelized on the bottom as well.
So give it a lovely glossy yumminess.
All right, and so I'm going to go in with this into my pan, and yours I see just need a bit more time in the pan, but I also have some that I made earlier. So what will happen is once the sugars and all of that have caramelized, it's going to thicken and become a toffee.
Yes.
Yes. So instead of having to worry about that, I've got some that I made earlier.
Excellent.
And
as
all
one
we're
does.
doing, yes. I'm using my hands because I want to gently place them onto this base, into this batter of ours here. And this is going to go into the oven, like I mentioned, to bake at 200 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. We've got the apple in there. We've got the fennel. You don't want any of the sauce. You just want the apple and the fennel in there.
So I suppose that's why the reduction is so important.
Correct.
It mustn't be too watery.
Correct. It mustn't be too watery. And this is basically our recipe. It goes into the oven to
Easy,
bake.
to me. This you could pull together in 2 minutes. You know that. You've got apples in your fridge, butter, clover. It's got to be the blue bottle, otherwise it's not going to work.
Otherwise, it's not going to work, guys. Same quality, same blue bottle, and then we put it into the oven to bake.
Excellent. There you go, darling.
There we go.
Lovely.
And that is our recipe. And when it comes out, give it about 3 minutes just to cool down a little bit so it doesn't burn you. And you can enjoy this with cream. You can enjoy it with custard. With raisins.
And rum and raisin sauce. Lovely.
You can enjoy it with anything you like, but do make sure you go on to afternoonexpress.co.za to get all the ingredient details and the steps on how to make this amazing recipe.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA. Made with love by Clover.
Ladies, please come in with that klafuti or mina ngiyayithanda futhi.
You will want 40. It's delicious.
I will want futhi. I love that. Okay, guys, this looks decadent, delicious. So whilst we dig into desserts and all things food, how incredibly touching was that message from Lorna and the work that they're doing with those bread tags?
I know, right? And the wonderful part about it is they're doing great work, but they're also saving the planet as well. Because all that would be normally thrown as litter on the floor, but it's actually being recycled and being used for something else. So that's very beautiful.
And I love I love a challenge like that. So I think every single household, children, starting from ground up, you'll be teaching them to recycle. And the more you collect, the better. But where do they take it?
Yeah.
You know?
And you see, that is the critical key point here.
Yes.
I think for myself, my challenges that I have experienced, and I'm sure a lot of South Africans can touch base with me here, is that sometimes I've already recycled here my glass products and they're all there, my plastic products, they're all there, and then all of the refuge stuff that could go into compost and soil.
Yes.
But now what to do with it? So then, exactly, girl, you can do this again because you know exactly what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
We've got this group chat in the complex that I live in. Everyone was so excited. Let's recycle. It's for a fee. I was like, there is no incentive for people to give, because there is no sense for people to give back. So if we can find a way, get incredible initiatives like the ones we've been talking to today throughout the show that are doing so for free, that allow you to recycle for free, I think that's the true change we need. Because trust me, I do not have a little cent to put into anyone taking my trash.
No. But I absolutely, those bread tags, collect them.
Yes.
And I'm just thinking about the fact that what we do today is going to pay off in the end. So we need to think about the future. I don't want to be caught in a situation where I can't live my best life because the universe or the earth has basically fought.
And we've been selfish. And think about it. You'll be doing such a good deed. Can you imagine helping someone to go into a wheelchair? I've seen people at the traffic lights with one leg hopping around on crutches. That person could benefit from a wheelchair.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you so much, ladies, for not only identifying where there is a need, but being willing to take on the responsibility of making that change, because it is a responsibility at the end of the day. I think a lot of times we encourage everyone to do the work and recycle, but the reality of it is it's not easy. It does take work. It does need you to put reminders up. So let's make it a habit, and let's start practicing well.
Absolutely.
And just like that, cheers, ladies, to living a green footprint. Now join us again tomorrow, Mzansi, as we take our fashion forward with Imprint ZA for Fashion Express Thursdays. Until then, good night, stay safe, and happy eating.
Afternoon Express. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.